Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another pick a card reading, and this one is going to be all about your next big blessings that are coming in, and we'll go into detail about how that's going to come about, and so that you can figure out the time scale for it as well, and any steps that you need to take along the way to kind of come into alignment quicker. We have 3 piles to choose from. So for pile 1, we have this crescent moon tea light holder. Thought it would make a change to use objects rather than crystals for the most part. And for pile 2, we have this incense holder. And then for pile 3, we have this chunk of blue agate, I do believe. So feel free to pause the video if you need to, and to choose your pile, and I will see you in your reading. Hi my pile ones, welcome to your reading. So I'm just going to pop the tea light holder up here, and then we are going to look at the oracle cards. Now, although I didn't put this in the intro, the idea is that this card is going to represent exactly what the blessing is, and the second card is going to represent how that's going to come about. So what it is that's going to be changing, or that you're going to be doing that's different, that's going to help this blessing to come in, and then any additional information in the last 2 cards. And then we'll get into some tarot as well. So the blessing that's coming in, we have healer, seer, priest, priestess, with soul purpose. So the blessing that's coming in, it's you coming into alignment with your soul purpose, whether that be healing yourself, healing others, but really being tapped into your spirituality and being able to see things from a higher perspective, not just from, because we get caught up in the 3D mental trappings of things that are happening in our 3D lives. You're going to be able to see things from a bigger picture, so that you can zoom out onto a situation to be able to see it from all angles and how to best deal with that situation and how to handle it. Because we have soul purpose coming out here, there's something with, it may be your career or it may be just life in general, but you're going to be coming into alignment with your soul purpose, the reason that you incarnated and came here, and the reason behind the things that you're supposed to be doing. It's all going to kind of fall into place, because there is an element of healing coming through in there as well. And it's your boundaries that are going to really help you to facilitate that. Making sure that you have healthy boundaries, looking at where you are exerting your energy. And because our energy, we only have a limited amount of energy in any given day, and depending on where your health is at or how you are in yourself is going to dictate how much energy you have. But by having boundaries and protecting your energy, you can discern what it is that you want to really focus that energy on, so that you can pour it into your soul purpose. And I'm being drawn to how although she's got her boundary in place with this kind of bubble and dome that's over her, her attention is on to start with I thought it was a butterfly, but it's actually a flower. So there could be something significant with white flowers for you, and that might be a confirmation of some sort. But there's something about getting back to basics and focusing on, I was going to say coming into alignment, but that doesn't feel right. It's focusing on your pure essence of who you are, the things that that you value, that are important to you. We also have the number 12 that's come out here. So if we're not doing proper math, that would, numerology wise, that would be a 3. So 3s are expansion and change and growth, and which is exactly what boundaries enable us to do, because boundaries aren't there to keep people out, and they aren't there to, it's not, oh, what are the words I'm looking for here? Help me out, Spirit. It's not about being hard on the outside. Your strength and your boundaries come from within. So we can, when we have strong boundaries, it's about being authentic to who we are, and knowing our worth, and really owning our power, because we don't have to be hard on the outside. We can be soft on the outside and hard in the middle. So you can be jovial and all of those soft, amazing qualities. I'm thinking like divine feminine type qualities, but having that inner strength to be able to just say no, and no means no. You don't have to explain yourself, you don't have to go into detail. It is what it is. You know who you are. And it's this that's going to help you come into alignment with your soul purpose and healing. Yeah, what's your honest truth? It's all about the authenticity and fierce serenity. Yeah, which is also making me think of the strength card, because we have a lion here, and it's the card number 8 as well. So it's finding your own inner strength and serenity, and making peace with yourself, knowing your honest truth, knowing who you are. That's your next big blessing that's coming in. It's that whole alignment of coming into alignment with yourself. Because you picked the crescent moon, it may be something to do, you may find that you are working with moon phases and moonology in general. That might be significant for you, or it could be a sign that it would be something that is helpful for you. But you're going to find that purpose and real authenticity and vulnerability within yourself as well. Being able to see your own truth and to be able to really own it. Because we have such a lot of blue that's come out here as well, it's making me think of the throat chakra. So there may be an additional thing about being able to communicate it in a more, I can't think of the word that I need right now, but it's having that vocabulary to be able to speak your truth and to be authentic in who you are and knowing who you are, and allowing that to, your authenticity to flow through your true authentic self, and also being in touch with your higher self as well. I'm not sure if it's intended, but it looks like once again there is a crescent moon on her forehead, so it's making me think of Empress type energy. And the Empress is once again a number 3. So 3s could be really significant for you, but it's like that sense of stepping into your Empress energy and being truly aligned with your higher self and who you are. Because when we are in alignment with ourselves and we are connected with our true authenticity and our higher selves, there's not so much of an ego response there. That could be what I was picking up on with the boundaries as well. It's not coming from an ego place. It's just that sense of knowing who you are, knowing what you're about, knowing what it is that you want from life, what you want to achieve, what it is that really sets your heart on fire and makes you want to do those things. And being connected with your honest truth, looking at what it is that isn't serving you anymore, or knowing when to say no, and having that thing once again with the boundaries, and being able to practice that discernment. So we're going to look at some tarot now to see how this is going to come about. The idea is that it's going to give you a timeline, sort of leading up to when this is going to take place, so you can see where it is that you are on this particular journey, to know how far you've got before you step into this. So, Spirit, what are the events that are going to lead up to... That one must come out, doesn't it? Yeah. The Shaman, which is the Hierophant. What else, please, Spirit? What's going to happen in the lead up? And we have the Six of Shells. What else, please? The Emperor. A lot of big energy going on here. And we also have the Three of Swords. And on the back of the deck we have the Ten of Crystals. So, at the beginning of this, because the idea is that these end cards are going to be when you're right at that tipping point, when you're going into this energy and receiving this blessing. So at the beginning of this, with the Hierophant here, although this is all about values and self-esteem, so you may be working with things like that. It's a very grounded type of energy because of it being linked with Taurus, and Tauruses are very practical, and they almost have this kind of, it's a very Pentacles type of energy, but it's making me think of just being able to put in the hard work, and it's like an Eight of Pentacles kind of energy. Keep chipping away at things, keep putting in those small little bite size of energy and steps and progression. It isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It may feel to some extent kind of stagnant, like you're putting in the effort but you're not seeing anything back. So this could be when you're working with your self-esteem, values, trying to build those back up, if it's something that you're conscious of. But because also we've got I think it might be a hawk, but because we have the bird here, once again, it's that thing of being able to see things from a higher perspective, to look down on them, and I don't mean look down on them in a negative way, but to be able to see them, to be able to see the bigger picture. It's making me think of that saying, being able to see the wood for the trees. If you're too close to something, then you can't see the progress that you are making because you're too caught up in the details. So being able to step back and really kind of look at those things, and any changes maybe that you need to make as well. You may be going through that, because this can also relate to tradition, religion, could also be your studies as well. Just kind of that thing of being able to, you may feel like you've had to conform. If it's something that, if your purpose and what you're being drawn to isn't something that fits in with the traditional norm, then it could be something that you are kind of looking at how that affects previous choices, or how it affects your traditions and what you used to value. That may be changing as well, because it's also about spiritual pursuits, and it's that kind of spiritual quest and journey that we all go through to find our spiritual home in some sort of sense, what it is that we believe, what we find value in within our spirituality as well, because that's what gives you wisdom and spiritual power over your own sovereignty. So that's kind of the beginning steps of the journey. And then here with the Six of Shells, you may find that you are reconnecting with things that you either used to like when you were younger, or something that is nostalgic for you as well. But there is a real sense of reconnection and almost this sense of celebration and play, of coming back together, whether it is that you are beginning to, it could be that you are beginning to reconnect with your higher self and your spiritual self, and it is that sense of longing, knowing, nostalgia, and really kind of reconnecting with yourself. Because this can also, the Six of Shells I also associate with past lives, so it could be your soul tribe, soul family that's coming in, or it could be, because we have two otters here, it could be that you are finding those people around this time that you are more connected with spiritually, and that you're finding your emotional fulfillment with, that you may not have thought was possible. But for others of you, this feels like a really strong connection of reconnecting with yourself, your higher self, and your spiritual knowing. You may also find yourself doing something like work with the Akashic records around this time as well. And then as we go into the Emperor here, because shamans, this one is linked because of the number 5. 5 is all about change, so there may be some big changes happening here as well. Sorry to kind of jump back, but there may be changes happening. Whether they feel like they might be external from you, to be honest. But there may be something, big changes happening before you go into this, because then once you get to the Emperor kind of energy, because we have a 4, it's a lot more stable. And although the Emperor is kind of the baby of the zodiac because of it being linked with Aries, there's also that energy of self-expression, having just energy in general, because you'll find that you'll have, by this point, you are going to have that focus and stability and authority over yourself and your experiences, because you've put in the groundwork and taken back control of certain areas of your life. This may be when you start to put in the boundaries, which are going to be that tipping point in things. But there is that real sense of self-empowerment and being able to refocus your energy and attention on the things that are more in alignment with you as well. Is there anything else about this one? No, it just feels like it's about your self-expression and owning your power at this point. And then with the 3 of feathers here, there may come a point, if you've started putting in boundaries at this stage here, there may come a point where people start to fall away or drift away, because the 3 of feathers, it talks about release and recovery, but also there's that sense of separation as well. So you may find that people who aren't in alignment with you are kind of just falling away, or you aren't really having as much contact with them. Because once you come into the end of this and you've gone through this release work, there may be some limiting beliefs as well coming up for you that you need to release. And because once we start to speak our truth and step into our power, because of this being what's your honest truth with this card up here? It feels like this is when you're going to start to step into this and be able to speak your truth and own your power. It can kind of cause ripples, and there can be resistance from others. So, which can also, if this is because of it being something new that you've started doing, it can cause others to kind of push up against those new boundaries, and there's almost a sense of making you question things. So when you get to this point, it's time to release. If you find yourself questioning your own beliefs, values, your own truth, because of what other people are reflecting back to you and that they don't agree with it, or that there's some kind of boundary that you're pushing up against, and where you're asserting your own boundaries at this point, people are going to push back on that because you're acting and reacting in a different way than what you have done in the past. And there's going to be a point where there's going to be some purging and releasing being done, because that's going to allow you to recover from old ways of thoughts and being, and to step in to your new or not your new self, but your authentic self that you may have denied in the past. Because once you go through this, you're going to find your stability, and it feels like there's going to be an abundance there as well. Because of this being the 10 of crystals, all of the work has been put in. Because crystals are the equivalent of pentacles in this deck. And it's that thing of you've worked really hard to get to where you are, and now you can kind of sit back, enjoy the stability that you have built up for yourself, because you have attained the things that you desire and want. And it's going to bring you this fierce serenity as well, by having the strength to continue and keep going and following your truth, exerting your boundaries and going through this process. It's going to allow you to really enjoy that and reap the benefits of it as well. So it's absolutely lovely. I love this for you, pile one. I wanted to get you a soul card. It's one of the soul journeys cards. I'm just trying not to knock things over while I grab the cards for you. But this is one that I kind of like to work with personally, because it helps to kind of know what it is that you need to focus on right now. So, and it kind of gives you affirmations and things as well. So let's see. What advice or things do my pile ones need to know right now, Spirit? So, and we have peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. What else, please? Is there anything else? Because you can use these as affirmations if you wanted to as well, if you want to make a note of them. What else, please, Spirit? And we also have humour. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. So yeah, allow yourself to have fun. With the two colours that we have coming out as here as well. So blue, as I said earlier, I associate with the throat chakra and communication, but it's also a colour of peace. There is a practice that if you are struggling with your temper, or you don't know how to remain calm in a situation, you can imagine that you are breathing in a pale blue light, because it is the colour of peace, and just allowing that to enter with each breath in. And with the humour card here, letting yourself have a light heart, I think, is going to be important for you as you step into this kind of Six of Shells energy here. Just allowing us that lightness of being to come in, because with the green, it's associated with the heart chakra. as well. So yeah, don't take things too seriously. But I hope that this has been helpful and that it resonates. Thank you ever so much for letting me read for you. I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. And if you've enjoyed this, then please feel free to like, comment or subscribe, as it all helps out the channel and lets me know what you're enjoying and things like that. And regardless, I hope that you will come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, my pal twos. Welcome to your reading. So this is your reading if you chose the little incense cone holder. I'm going to pop him up there because I think he's so cute. I hope that you can still see him. I don't actually know. No, he's just out of shot, isn't he? Let's bring him forward a bit. He's too cute. Where can I put him? There he is. So, I'll stop getting distracted by his cuteness. So the idea is that these oracle cards are going to represent different aspects. So this is going to be your big blessing that is coming in. This is going to be what's going to help facilitate it. And then these are supporting energy or information that you need to know. So let's see what we have here. So we have into the unknown, underworld, depth, courage, facing your fears. Wow. Wow, pile 2. This feels, I don't know if you can see that underneath, but it almost feels like being pulled down into this vortex and the unknown, and it's almost like because you don't know what's on the other side, it could be a void. So this could be to do with shadow work. It's also making me think of the dark night of the soul. But basically you aren't going to be afraid to go there. Any healing that you need to do, you're going to be courageously facing those fears and stepping forwards into that. And it takes a lot of strength to be that person who isn't afraid to go there, because there is this thing about when it comes to emotional depth, people can only meet us as deep as they're willing to go in themselves, and to be able to form those deep, lasting, intimate relationships, like emotional intimacy, it takes courage to be able to have that vulnerability and to be able to walk in the shadow and to face those parts of ourselves that are hidden or unknown to us, and have the courage to really see ourselves. Because we all have light and dark attributes to us. We all have the things that we are aware of, and we have our shadows, which are the things that sometimes they are things that we don't like about ourselves, sometimes they are things that we are unaware of, and they can also be the patterns and conditionings and things that influence us because they are based off of experiences that we had as a child, and they have helped form how we see the world. But because this is a blessing, it's something that is going to absolutely transform you, transform your life. It's actually making me feel really emotional, like I want to cry. And I can feel it in the pit of my stomach, like the solar plexus kind of area. Because you've had so many fears and not feeling good enough, that this is what you're going to be facing and being able to work through. to be able to start to see your value, because you aren't going to stay here forever. The things that you are facing and working through, it feels like in the lead up to this, you will have come to the realization, and you may be aware of it now, or it's something that you are going to be aware of very soon, but that you can't skirt around some things. Some things, they have such an impact on us that they affect our lives, and it almost stunts our growth because of those fears getting in the way, and we can't work around them, we can't go over them, we can't go under them, we have to go through them. To be able to integrate them, transmute them, purge them, we have to be able to face them and to go deep within ourselves. And it does take courage. It takes courage to see those, to want to see those, to even be aware of them. You have to have a certain amount of courage, let alone to be able to actually go there and work with them. Yeah. So the thing that's going to help to support you here, the first quarter moon assessing. Yeah, it's being able to, as I was saying, it's being able to see those things and to be able to assess situations so that you can know whether you are reacting from a place of wounding or whether you are responding from a place of authenticity and self-empowerment, and being able to discern those differences. And with the number 9 here, 9s are, it's that thing of the end is in sight. So because 10s are a completion, it's the end of the cycle. So you are coming to the end of something that has been holding you back from not being able to see things and to be able to, it's almost like that higher perspective. Let's see what these are. So we have Feed Your Artist with number 28. We have Cut the Cords of Doubt. Yeah. And you had an extra one of these as well, which I wasn't anticipating. But we have Stop, Drop and Ground. I'm going to put this one in the middle. Yeah, there is something about feeding your... When it says feed your artist here, it's not just about doing art. It's also about any kind of creative pursuit that makes you, because that works with the solar plexus. This crystal may also be helpful for you as well. It's very close in colour to this card, which is red carnelian, by the way. But this feels really important for you as a crystal. And being able to tap into your creativity, follow your intuition, because we have purples coming out here on this side. There is something about your intuition being your guide, and tapping into your creativity. It's going to help heal your solar plexus, which could be where you are holding a lot of your fears and wounding. I don't want to say too much because it might not be the case for all of you, and it may be triggering for some. But the solar plexus is all about our creativity, what we birth into the world. It's also about our sexuality as well. So there may be something that you are exploring with this into the unknown. If it is in relation to your sexuality, there could be something to do with exploring something that you know is true for you. If you're part of the LGBTQ community, oh, I should say plus on the end there. But there is, yeah, there's something about you exploring who you are on that kind of level, allowing yourself to stay grounded, which is all to do with the lower chakras. It's not just the solar plexus, but also which is, the solar plexus is just below our navel, our belly button, but it also, the lower chakras and grounding is also to do with your base chakra, which is at the bottom. It's kind of in the middle at the bottom of your body, like where your spine is and your genitals. I hope that I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. But that's where that one is located, and that's our physical security and connection. And it feels like there is something about that coming up as well, being able to feel safe and secure in your own body and in who you are. But there is to support you through this assessing the situation, assessing who you are at your core and who you want to be. The creativity is going to really allow you to find that in a very healthy sort of way that is going to help you ground as well, because doing things with our hands and doing something creative, it brings us back into the present moment and allows us to be present with ourselves. And then here we're cutting the cords of doubt. If you've been questioning yourself and questioning the intuitive nudges that you're getting and what it is that you're being led to, there's a need to cut that away, because it's a choice in a lot of respects. Not necessarily who we are, but how we show up and interact with the world is a choice. Because I'm not trying to say that our sexuality is a choice, if that is the case for you in this pile, because that's part of who you are. But cutting away any cords of doubt and doubting yourself and your intuition and what you're seeing when you're assessing the situation. Because being able to go there, being able to work through the things that are coming up for you, and to be able to heal, and having this courage to face your fears, it's like this hasn't come out in a blessing reading for no reason. It may not seem like it's a blessing at the time, and I do have a tendency to do a lot of shadow work type readings on this channel, because that's what comes through quite naturally. But this is it feels like it's going to be life-changing. It won't be easy at the time, and you may not be able to see it in the moment as to the difference that it's making and how it's changing your life, because when you're in the thick of it, it's not easy, not in the slightest, and you can't always see the benefits and how it's going to help you later down the line. But what I want to do for you next, we're going to look at some tarot cards, and I want to see what's going to happen in the lead up to this, so that you can kind of gauge where you are on the journey. So for different ones of you, like, you're going to be at different stages, and that's completely okay. It's just to kind of give you a rough gauge of where you are along this path and along this journey. So Spirit, what's going to happen in the lead up to this for my pile twos, please? And we have the 5 of Acorns and the Magician. What else, please? And we have the 3 of Crystals and the 4 of Shells. And on the back of the deck we have the Page of Crystals. Yeah, oh, who wants to pop out there? 7 of Shells with choices and ambitions. Right. So at the beginning part here, it's going to be very challenging. There's going to be a lot of growth happening, but there's also going to be a sense of internal conflict as well. A sense of not being completely... It's almost like that argument between the head and the heart, which feels like there's an element of that already coming through anyway. So that may be where your energy is right now. But it's kind of... it's that thing of following your heart rather than being stuck in your head all the time and talking. It's almost that sense of talking yourself out of things, and talking yourself out of the growth that is possible, because you don't feel... I don't know, it's going to be different for a few of you, but it's almost like that sense of not feeling... it's almost not... oh, this sounds horrible, but not feeling like you have a right to want things, a right to follow your passions, a right to follow your heart. But by doing so, and it's yes, it's a challenge, but it's going to allow you to go through that growth by choosing to follow your gut instinct, your heart, what it is that you know that you truly want and need from life. Because you're going to be stepping into this magician energy. Now, the magician has all of the tools at his disposal, and the willpower to create things. It's just a matter of planning out what you're going to do with it. It's like having all the ingredients to a dish in front of you, and then just working out what the steps are, as in what needs to start cooking first, when you add what ingredient, all through the process till the end when the dish is ready to serve. It's that kind of energy to it as well. But with the infinity symbol up here as well, which is typical of the magician, but I'm being really drawn to it. It's that thing of infinite cycles. You were never meant to stay in the energy of not trusting yourself, not trusting your intuition, and being stuck in your fears. That was never the intention of your soul or of spirit. You were never meant to stay there. You were always meant to go through this growth and face these challenges and face these fears. It's something that was already predestined. All you're doing is now following that path, or you're being led along that path anyway, if you are already aware of it. So this is the kind of energy that you're going to be stepping into. Now, the magician is also linked with Mercury, which is to do with ideas and communication. So you may find that you are beginning to communicate and ask for what it is that you need. When it comes to shadow work and things like that, you may be looking for a coach that will coach you through the process of doing shadow work if you're coming at it from a spiritual aspect, or you may find that you are vocalizing your need for a therapist, or actually looking for a therapist to work with. But your energy is going to be very focused, and it's like an alignment of your higher self and it's that sense of spiritual power coming through, because you're going to be determined and to be able to find the solutions to problems at the same time. You're going to have that focused energy of, right, this is where I want to get to. What do I need to do? What are the steps, the action steps that I need to take to put in place so that I can get to my destination and where I want to be, and make the changes that I want, so that it's a very tangible kind of thing. But it's also, there's an element of manifestation there as well. So isn't just you. You're going to be working with spirit. So for everything that you're putting in, spirit is also helping to bring you in alignment as well, and to bring those things to you that you are looking for and searching for, to put into place so that you can reach your destination, or the part of your journey that you are working towards right now. And then when you get to the stage of the Three of Crystals here, you're going to have that ability to work with others and the collaboration, because the Three of Crystals is the Three of Pentacles in this deck, which is all to do with collaborating, but also coming at it from an apprentice kind of energy, so that you are learning and growing and gaining experience within something, whether that be within your healing journey that you are doing and the depths that you are going to. Because if you've not done that kind of work before, it is going to be new. You are going to feel like a complete novice, but you're going to have people around you by this point in your journey where they are there to help you, to collaborate with you, to work with you. Because I believe this is a bee that's on here, but it's a very kind of, I was going to say hive mentality, but everyone working together for a common cause. So whoever it is that's coming in that you will be working with and collaborating with, because it's going to be a very productive time for you, and they're going to be on the same page. You're going to have that same goal in mind of where it is that you are trying to get to and what you're trying to work through. So it feels a very supportive kind of energy to be in. And threes are quite expansive as well. The decision process is already over. Now it's about actually going out and having that adventure and those experiences that are going to give you that knowledge later down the line. Because without experiences, we can't learn from theory alone. We have to actually go through things to be able to relate to them in a much deeper way. And because you aren't going to be shying away from the depths and the fears that you need to face, that's going to be what's supporting you through this. Also, looking at this particular card, it's making me think of clear quartz. Clear quartz is the master healer, and it can be substituted for any other crystal. When you're doing crystal healing, you can use clear quartz instead of the other crystal that you would have used for that chakra. But it also helps with mental clarity, spirituality, general healing. So that may be something else that would be helpful for you as well when you get to this stage. And then here with the Four of Shells, the Four of Cups, you're going to go through a stage of, it's going to have a more stable energy to it. Once you've gone through the expansive energy of the threes here, with the fours, things are going to feel more settled, but you're going to be doing a lot of soul searching and reevaluation. This could be about reevaluating your life and how your life has been affecting you, or how you've been kind of showing up in the world as well. But it's almost like a sense of reevaluating what is going to be emotionally fulfilling for you and what actually brings you happiness. Sorry, I've just realised that you can't actually see the cards, so I'm going to move them up a bit. But yeah, although there is stability to it, there's also this kind of a sense of making sure that you can see what's going right. Celebrate the small wins. When you get to this stage, try and remember to celebrate the small wins as well. although you're going to be doing the soul searching and reevaluating everything, make sure that you are taking time to be able to appreciate how far you've come and to reflect on the journey that you've already been on as well, because that's going to be quite important for you at this stage, because it can be quite easy with the Four of Cups to the negative or the shadow I'll get the word out in a second. The shadow attributes of the Four of Shells or Four of Cups is to do with low mood, depression, and those sorts of things. So make sure that you stay grounded when you're in this energy. Do the grounding practices and things that came out here. So stop, drop and ground. Once again, back to the red carnelian, to make sure that you are staying present with yourself and bringing in those creative pursuits as well to kind of help you stay present, because when you get to the point of stepping into this and receiving the blessings of this situation, you're going to have a lot of ideas, and there's going to be a need for discipline as well, because although you're going to still be feeling like a novice, there's going to be a lot of choices and ambitions for you that you may have, that you're going to be weighing up, and it's almost like a sense of deciding what the best path is for you. You may have a lot of ideas of what it is that you could be doing or what you'd like to be doing, and they're quite possibly all things that are going to spark that sense of passion and excitement and drive forwards. But you need to practice discipline and discernment as to which one is going to bring you the most fulfillment, because you can't spread yourself too thin, especially if you are doing shadow work or in therapy. That can drain you and drain your energy, because it takes a lot of mental energy to go through that process. So be mindful of how you are expending your energy and have that discipline in place, and practice the discernment so that you are focusing on one particular thing at a time if possible. So to round out your reading, I want to also grab you a couple of soul journey cards as well, because these have like affirmations on them that you can use. So what would support my pile twos right now, Spirit? What would support my pile twos on this journey? Perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So you may want to, if you want to, feel free to screenshot that or make a note of it, because you can use that as an affirmation. What else, please, Spirit? What else would help them right now? There's also a sense of don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on what you're working towards. Don't give up on you. You're worth it. You may not feel it at the moment, or you may not feel it when you get to this point, but yeah, you're worth the effort. Don't give up on yourself. And we also have worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome, and it doesn't. We can worry. I don't know if you want to screenshot that as well, or make a note of it. But we can worry about anything and everything all day long. But whatever is meant to be will be. If something is meant for us, then it won't pass us by. And if it's something that we are supposed to experience and a lesson that we are supposed to learn and grow from, then we can't hide from it forever. So there is absolutely no point worrying about it. Just do your best to stay present and grounded and in the moment, and then everything will unfold naturally as it is supposed to. Also, with the purples that we have coming out here, with the same as the assessing card, it feels very much like there is something with your third eye chakra or brow chakra to do with your intuition, and it could be that your psychic abilities will wake up through this process as well. But there's a real sense of being connected with your higher self and your intuition, and having your third eye open, because it's going to allow you to see things more clearly. So spiritual pursuits may be important as well, because our brow chakra is linked with our spirituality, and yeah, so anything that would link with your spiritual practices, whether that be meditating, that may help as well, because that's going to help ground you and settle your nervous system as well. But something along those lines, or whatever it is that you feel called to do, that's what's going to also help you at the moment, just tapping into your spirituality and finding strength within that. So yeah, I think that's all that I have for you, my pal twos. Thank you ever so much for letting me read for you. I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. I'm sending you so much love. Yeah, feel free to like, comment or subscribe if you feel like doing so, as it all helps out the channel and lets me know what you're enjoying or not enjoying. But either way, regardless, I hope that you will come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, my pal threes. Welcome to your reading. I've been trying to figure out how I can put this to one side, but so that you can still see it, so that you can still see the colours of it. So I'm going to pop it there, so that hopefully you can enjoy it, because if I stand it upright, then you can't really see it. Right, so we are going to use oracle cards to ascertain what it is that your big blessing is going to be, what it is that's going to support it, that you're going to actually do that is going to support this coming in. And then we have two oracles for additional messages and sort of like the supporting energy within the situation. Then we're going to look at some tarot cards for you, and then we'll get some final advice as well, just so that you can kind of get a time scale as to where you are along the journey. So it will be the energy of the situation, and as you go along that journey and change, that we'll be looking at, so you can work out where you are. So we have cleansing, releasing the old, energetic tune-up, new beginnings. I love this for you. This feels like a real purging of energy, purging the old, purging what isn't serving you, and really kind of coming into alignment, because by cleansing, clearing, this doesn't just have to be within our own energy and our thoughts. It can be. And it feels very significant that it's almost like two eyes looking through. And it feels like that spirit watching over you. But by cleansing things, what was I trying to say? So it's not just about purging our thoughts and having that energetic tune-up internally, but that also reflects in our environment as well. So it could be a purging of clutter, things, possessions that you don't use anymore, don't need, anything like that. Just, it feels like a real release of things, because they aren't part of your new your new life that you're moving towards. And this is going to be the precipice that really kind of tips things. Oh no, it's not, it is two eyes, but it's two faces as well. I don't know how I couldn't see that to start with, but it is two faces on there. I haven't used this particular oracle deck very often, as I haven't had it long, because it's Rebecca Campbell's new, the Healing Waters Oracle. So I've only used it a handful of times for myself so far. But, so yeah, there could be, yeah, it's also, it feels like a reinvention of yourself. You're realizing what it is that you need to release and let go of, which could be what you're going through at the moment. But when this comes about, when you're actually releasing everything, and that's going to free up the energy for the new beginnings to come in, for the new you, because it feels like this could be two different versions of you. This is the old you and the new you that you are stepping into, and you're going through this purging, cleansing process in between that is going to purify everything that it almost, I don't know why purify is coming through, because it feels like a it feels like a purification of who you are. So you're stripping back and getting to your authentic self so that you can have the life that you want to. And then we have harvest moon with fruition. Now harvest moon is towards the end of the year, so it's, I can't remember if we, I'm so bad. I can't remember if we've just had it or whether it's something that is coming up when I'm recording this and the video will be first going up. Of course, it's a timeless reading, so it will be harvest moon next year if it's already passed this year. Maybe that is significant. But with fruition here, and if we add the 37 up, because we don't do normal numbers here, or normal math I should say, so it would round up to a 10. 10s are conclusions, endings, new beginnings. It's about coming full circle, because you can reduce it again then down to 1. So you've got zeros and ones to do with the Fool, the Magician. So once again, it's new journeys, new beginnings, adventures, innocence, and just really kind of starting over afresh and being able to manifest what it is that you want to bring in, and everything coming to fruition. So focusing on the abundance of life and knowing that, is that what it is, Spirit? Okay, so the thing that is going to support your cleansing and your purging is trusting and knowing that whatever you release is going to be replaced with something new. You are going to have that abundance and that fulfillment that you are seeking, and trusting that the universe is going to bring that to you, that Spirit is guiding you to it and it to you, because it isn't just about you going out and acquiring things, new things, and these new beginnings. It's also about allowing and surrendering to receiving those as well, because manifestation is, it's a 50-50 thing. We have to do the things that make space and allow these things to come in, but we also have to be open to receiving the new as well. So the supporting energy is Soul on Fire with number 38. And then we also have Nourish the Sacred Feminine. Yeah. Oh, I love this. I hadn't looked at them before. Before doing your reading. I don't like looking at the oracle cards, because then it doesn't feel necessarily authentic when I'm then reading it. But I love how these match. Whoops-a-daisy. Yeah. Number 18. So yeah, and the sacred feminine, the divine feminine is all about being in that abundance and allowing yourself to receive, so that you aren't You aren't stopping that flow and allowing yourself to be soft and open. That's what's going to support this. I can't get over the colours. It's beautiful. But yeah, but the actual blessing is the release work and being able to cleanse and energetically tune up and because that's going to allow you to come into alignment with what it is that you are bringing in. And I'm not being told what it is. I'm not being told what it is that you're bringing in that's going to be this new beginning. So it's going to be different for all of you. But we're going to look at the tarot now because we're going to get a time scale as to where you are on this journey for this to be coming in, for this release, this cleansing and this new beginning to actually be able to come in for you, because you're really in touch with who you are and your soul, your higher self, with this soul on fire card here. It's that spark and that fire in the pit of your stomach that just, it makes you come alive from the inside out. And it's going to draw everything to you, because when you are in that energy and that higher vibration with this tune-up that you're doing, it makes you magnetic. It draws those things to you like a moth to a flame. So yeah, but let's see what the time scale is here and what's happening in the lead up. Okay, so we have the King of Crystals with courage and commitment, and the Four of Crystals with control and security. What else, please, Spirit? Six of Feathers, transition and insight. What else, please? Can I get one more for my pile, please? And we have the Shadow, which is the Devil, with self-empowerment and ambition. Okay. And on the back of the deck we have the Knight of Crystals with endurance and determination. So pop that over there for a second. So over here there is a real sense of, it's that sense of abundance. Not only have you made the commitment to yourself and to the abundance that you're drawing in and the life that you want, but you've got the courage to take those steps, those real tangible kind of steps, because crystals is linked with, it's the Pentacles suit in this particular deck. And at this point, this is all about you having the courage to take the steps that you need to, because you've already put in all of the work. You already know, you've already achieved so much, because the King is the master of that element. So you're going to be financially abundant, materially secure, and have that stability in your life. But there is something, although you have all of this, you're going to realize that there is something that you are maybe micromanaging and controlling that isn't really serving your highest good, because you already have the security that you need. But there is something about maybe your fears that's coming through that's making you hold on. It's like holding something too tightly. Although fours are a stable energy, if we hold on to something too tightly, there's a possibility that you can't see how stable you already are. that you already have the security that you desire and that you want. It's like an entrepreneur who is financially stable, has savings, has everything that they need, yet is still working themselves to the bone trying to achieve more. It's not knowing when to take a step back, but this is going to be something that you will be realizing around this time here with the Four of Crystals. You're going to start realizing that you're maybe pushing for more and trying to control the outcome of a situation rather than allowing yourself to soften and receive and let go of anything that isn't meant for you, and allowing that to release and to kind of transition out. So there may be something that you are trying to force to work and control rather than allowing it to unfold naturally as it's supposed to. But you're going to be able to see that. You're going to start realizing that you have that abundance that you are seeking. You already have it, because you're going to shift through and go through this transition here, because you're going to have a deeper insight into it. And because sixes are there when there's been forward progression and you're over the worst of it. With feathers here, that's linked with swords, so that's going to be your mental energy. So you're beginning to have the insight and transition into an energy of having more self-awareness of your thoughts and any limiting beliefs or things that you have been working through around this. They're going to shift. It feels like it's going to be in quite quick succession. Even though, because it feels like it's something that you've already been working on for quite some time. So these are because you're just kind of tidying up your energy. These aren't big shifts that you're going to go through. So it may end up being kind of a bump, bump, bump kind of scenario. And then everything falls into place. You're doing the cleansing and you're moving into your true abundance and being able to nourish yourself and that aspect of surrender. But you are going to go through a mental transition that is going to allow you to have victory over your mental trappings, because it's quite... Okay, so the shadow is actually the devil card, and although these aren't qualities that I would associate with that particular card, we have self-empowerment and ambition. So that could be something that could be something you find yourself kind of getting tied up in and putting too much importance on, because the devil is also to do with addiction, things that can seem too good to be true and very seductive. Be careful that you don't end up in a workaholic kind of energy, because that's what this kind of feels like. So kind of putting too much importance on your work and that ambition that you're driving towards, because you've already achieved so much anyway. So watch out for the shadow attributes of this with the addiction side of things and overindulgence. Don't let yourself be a slave to work. And watch out for any overindulgence that you're doing, or anything that is kind of messing up your energy. That's likely, you may go through a phase of that and then realise, because there's going to be an element of endurance and determination to work through that and make slow and steady progress. And it feels like this could be a bump in the road that would set you back a little bit, because we've gone from the King to the Knight. of Pentacles. So that's like a couple of steps back rather than forwards and progression in the energy. So you may find that before you go through this purge, that you've kind of gotten carried away and something hasn't gone right, something's fallen through because you couldn't resist making that investment or trying to do that thing. But if something seems too good to be true, then it probably is. So yeah, and you're going to be rebuilding, because there's going to be an element of that slow and steady progress happening again. But that is going to be a blessing in disguise, because it's going to lead you to this energy with the cleansing and stepping into your divine feminine more and trusting the universe, trusting the signs and synchronicities that you get, trusting your gut instinct and your intuition. It's really allowing you, going through this is going to allow you to step into that and making that progress. It's going to allow you to be in that really empowered receiving kind of energy where things are going to magnetically flow to you. But it's almost like this is the wake-up call that you're going to have that will then enable you to shift through that and go into your blessing. So I'm going to grab you a couple of these oracle cards. Now the idea of these, they have short affirmation type things on that you can use, that you can make a note of if you want to, but they're also going to serve as advice for you that you need right now. So Spirit, what advice do you have for my pile 3s, please, in navigating this? What advice do you have for my pile 3s, please, Spirit? What advice do you have for my pile 3s? What advice do you have for my pile 3s, please? And we have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Yeah, that's that divine feminine energy coming through. Just having patience with yourself. Not everything happens overnight. It's that small increments. It's kind of that Knight of Pentacles energy coming through. What else, please, Spirit? What other advice do you have for my pile 3s? And we have denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Wow. It could be the denial that happens here. There may be an element of denial in that. But yes, self-awareness is, or the awareness of a pattern or how we're showing up in some way, or something from our past that is still affecting us. Awareness of it is half the battle, because then once you're aware of it, you can then start to notice when you're acting and reacting from that place and how it's affecting your life, and that's when the healing begins and you can actually start to make changes. So, but I think that's all that I have for you, my pile 3s. I hope that resonates, and thank you ever so much for letting me read for you. I'm sending you so much love. I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and of course, if you feel called to do so, please feel free to like, comment or subscribe, as it all helps out the channel, and I'd love to have you as part of my notification squad. But regardless, with that being said, I hope that you come back and see me again soon. Bye.